Welcome back to the Why Not Us podcast.
Why Not Us podcast.
And of course, if you don't know, I'm your co-host Seneca.
I'm Rahmere.
And we're back. And we're
back.
Better.
We missed y'all.
We did. How have you been?
I'm actually been pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I got no complaints. I'll say that a lot to people. People ask me like, how you been? I'll be like, I'm good. I'm pretty good. I got no complaints. It's starting to be a cycle.
Is that the truth? Or is that just like something you say just to kind of...
Both. I think it is the truth. Like I do not have any complaints.
Mm-hmm.
But then also it's like, it is just my go-to to just say, it just sounds good too.
Cause do you ever think like people say like, how you been? Like, do they really want to know? Or is it kind of like a greeting? Like, oh, how are you? Like, do you really want to know?
No, I agree. Because even I say that sometimes at different parts of work. I'm like, how you doing, bro?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Don't.
But like, I think as a society, we just be saying stuff just because, and it don't really be true.
Yeah.
We like, oh, how you been?
Yeah, true.
We don't really care. So when somebody really, really asks you, no, seriously, how you been?
Yeah.
I think I probably will give them a better thought out answer, but
that's true.
Superficially, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Got no complaints.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's start this podcast off like how we always start off. We're going to start off with lows and highs.
Oh, for sure.
If there is any lows.
Yeah.
Do you have a low?
I feel like I can't say all that and say I don't have a low. But I actually don't have a low. So That's how I really feel. Okay. My high so far is the fact that, just recently, like we did some things in New Chronicle, figuring out like some structure type things, like going into the new year and getting like the back end things of stuff like settled and situated and like just kind of like a lot of legalese a little bit. So, just getting that together has definitely been productive and very, very cool to see that get into fruition.
Yeah.
So that's my high. I don't really have a low.
I like that. Low. I have a low, but I feel like this time of year for me, it's hard because I recently lost my grandmother. And so, it's kind of like someone in the family is always like that puzzle piece that was missing. And now it's like, it's incomplete. So I'm trying to come to terms with trying to like how to deal with certain things when it's, certain events or certain family gatherings. So it's kind of been tough. So that's just kind of been on my mind recently. But my high that's been making up for that is definitely like with New Chronicle and, definitely the things that I'm working on and gathering myself from the new year and then leading up to, all of that. So just kind of getting things in order, like getting things in like a very chronological order, setting things up, making sure all things are all ready and ready to go. And we're not just putting it in the atmosphere, we're actually doing it and putting it into action. So I guess like you were saying, we share the same type of high, I guess.
Yeah. And that's like I feel like you're not alone in that feeling. Yeah. I think it could be easy to feel like you're alone in a certain feeling, especially this time of year where it's like darker earlier and like, and it's kind of like a big family time of year. Yeah. It can really feel like you're alone, but you're not alone. I know there's plenty of people who have felt that way or probably do feel that way. And like even people close to you probably feel the same way. Yeah, so I think definitely just leaning on people near you for sure is like, can definitely help you past that for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. That's my thought, but I don't have all the answers, but I'm just saying like, that's just my thought. You're fine. That's cool. Yeah. That's good to check in with you, like as always. So our next segment is the icon in the eye. So who's caught your eye, like creatively or like professionally, that you just want to give a little shout out to? Not even a little shout out, like a real shout out. We don't want to use the word little.
No, we don't want to.
Nah, never that.
The group Flow.
Okay.
I've been loving Flow. I think that I don't like to say people are underrated, because that can be, political, but I think they're a really, really cool group. I think that this is a cool time there are not many girl groups. There used to be tons. And this girl group, when I say they can not sing, they can sing. Like they can really sing. They all just they blend well. They can sing, and I love them. And I think that they're from the UK. And I think,
did not know that.
Yeah, like you wouldn't know, because when they sing, of course, they sound like anybody else that you've heard, right? Mm-hmm. But when they speak and you listen to all of them, they're all really, really close friends. And, I just like how they're just putting their art out there, their visuals out there, their stories out there. And they're creative. They can sing, they can dance. And I like how they're getting so much more attention now. I feel like maybe a couple of years ago, they weren't like that much on the radar, but I think they're getting so much more attention, which you always have to love for creative.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
3 beautiful girls who can sing, like, that's a win. So
sing.
If you ever heard them out, I think y'all should check them out. And that's why they're my icon of the eye.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
What about you? Thank you.
My icon of the eye, I have to say Kai Cenat. Okay. Now, I'm going to say that now because, like, see you laughing and everything like that. I just think, like, despite the fact that the stigma that he may get just being loud, rambunctious, goofy, mm-hmm. I think there does take a level of talent to be able to pull off what he pulls off. Yeah. The level of creativity and focus and drive to really pull off what he pulls off. Mm-hmm. Cause he had the subathon where he did. It was just like streaming all 30 days of November. And how do you stream for 30 days and not make it boring for somebody? Like, how do you keep it interesting? People continuing to tune in, continuing to donate, continuing to, like, how do you do that? In fact, and the fact that, like, a percentage of everything that people donate goes to charity and the school that he's building, that's very cool. Yeah. So I think just that whole process of I'm gonna actually give it to Kai Cenat and his whole team. Yeah, actually, not even just him. Yeah, because you just need a big team behind you to be able to pull up some of the stuff that they pulled. So, my icon eye goes out to them. Shout out to them. Yeah, for sure.
He's so creative. It's like the things that he comes up with, and the things that, like, you might jump in his stream and you're like, what is on today? You just see crazy things. Yeah. Like llamas and entertainers and John Cena. It's like, how did you get John Cena on your stream?
Right.
But everybody likes Kai. Like, if you're in that world, even if you haven't heard somebody, your niece, your nephew, cousin, they've heard of him. And I think it's pretty cool. I don't think we've had someone like this at this high, like at the pinnacle, doing something like this.
This young too.
This young.
Yeah, I think he was only like 22.
Yeah, he deserves.
Maybe just turned 23. Yeah.
He deserves all the accolades he's getting. So
for sure, that's my icon eye for sure. Yeah. Definitely.
I like that. Cool. Definitely. That's 2 cool icons of the eyes. So now we're about to get into our main topic.
Smell that? Smell like main topic to me. I don't know. Y'all smell that? Smell like main topic to me.
So our main topic today is going to be what?
Today we're really talking about failure. Because when you try, failure is inevitable. So you can't have effort without failure.
That's right.
So today we're really going to dissect failure. And as someone who is one of my number 1 fears in life is failure.
I remember you told me that.
Yeah. So this topic is probably definitely going to hit home.
Hit home for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we're going to dissect the quote that I said. Yeah. Where there's no effort without failure. Right, what does that mean to you? Like, how would you,
there's no effort. One more time.
Well, there's no effort. There's no trying without failure. They are synonymous. They come hand in hand.
Well, because to me, you don't start anything off of perfectionist. Like, everything is level 1. Nothing starts at a level 10. That is unheard of. And if that happens, you're very gifted. I will tell you that. But it's like, trying to get good in a subject at school, trying to excel in a test, trying to excel in how to ride a bike. So when you first do those things, you have to learn to do those things. Those things are not given to us. They are typically, in textbooks or, someone is teaching us to do it. You're going to fail automatically, whether it's not the correct way or you in your head, you might envision a sort of way to do something and it's not the reality. So you're trying, but you're not excelling so perfectly because it's your first time. Your first time recording a YouTube video, or your first time anything, you're going to have the little quirks. You're going to have the little mess ups, the bumps in the road. So to me, I think if you don't have the little bumps in the road, you will never know what it's like to complete, like to go down a full road. If we're keeping up the analogy.
It builds your character.
Right.
It builds your endurance up. It builds like let's say if your road was perfect, no bumps, perfectly smooth road. The moment you hit a little bump, you ain't gonna know how to react.
You're gonna not know how to recover.
So I definitely think those little hang-ups, it builds who you are.
It does.
Helps you become stronger, helps you pivot, helps you, you know what I'm saying?
It makes you like more, it makes you a little wittier. It makes you like quick with it. It makes you like, okay, like now know, like it makes you want to pivot faster. Like let's say if, you know, we've had a lot of big moments that we've experienced failure, but in the moments that we could have ultimately failed, we picked it back up because we know how to pick it up fast, because we've learned through time and trials and errors what that looks like. Once you know what failure looks like, you know how to not necessarily avoid it, but how to maneuver around it and how to get better with it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think one of the biggest reasons why the fear of failure is just like so like prevalent with me and other creators as well is just like we see like the outside of what failure brings, right? Because failure brings, you know, you might be embarrassed, you might be discouraged, you might never try again. We don't see like the long-term benefits of failure.
Yeah.
Well, normally you wouldn't. You just see in the moment you're like, oh man, I didn't do this and now this happens. You see the immediate. I posted a YouTube video and I only got 3 views when my goal is to get 300.
Right.
10 your head, man, failure.
Right.
Like, and I think we just see the immediate of failure. We do not see like the long terms.
It's important because to me, it's all about the grind of the outcome, and you have to constantly grind. You have to constantly get better at your craft. Essentially, and you can't. That's how you learn. You have to continue to learn the hiccups, learning the what to do and what not to do. If I always sit up and do always the right thing all the time, how am I supposed to know what not to do? And you know, the right and the wrong thing. Sometimes you have to do the wrong thing in order to do the right thing. Sometimes you have to fail in order to achieve. That is, to me, that is so normal. If you don't normalize failure, I think we don't normalize failure.
No.
And
we don't expect people to be perfect and good.
And we don't like talk about failure. We like hold failure so close to our hearts. Like we don't share it. I wonder why we don't share our failures and our tribulations.
Because I feel like you don't get validation for failure. We share things to get validation, right? I feel like even as a creative, some people may share things, right? I made a painting or I made like I did something. I made a rug or something and I share it. Other people are like, oh man, this was really cool. This was good. Like, oh wow, this is well done. I'm not going to share a painting that I thought was bad or it was bad or like a failed video or I'm not going to share that stuff because I feel like no one's going to be like, oh, this is cool. It's that, you know, if you're not proud of it, you're not going to share something you're not proud of.
Yeah. But I share it also to help. I share I share my failures to go, oh, to me, it brings it's a bonding experience. Like when you fail at something, it's like when you fail a class, like, oh my God, you failed that class too. Oh my gosh. It's such a sigh of relief when you know, like, you're not the only person that failed in this thing, in this category, or you weren't good at this. It's like, oh my God, you too. It's a shared bonding experience that can actually help each other. So how can we get better? How can I get better? Now that we know what not to do, now here's what to do. It's like a blueprint. And for other people that maybe want to do what things that we want to do, you know, it's like, oh, this is like, let me show you, this is what I did. Don't do this, girl. Or like, it's kind of like a roadmap for people sometimes in a way.
Yeah. Now I got a question for you. As a creator, do you feel like there is a certain amount of times you can fail at something before you got to give it up? Because like, obviously, the definition of insanity is to repeat the same thing over and over again and still getting the same results. Yeah,
I think it can at times it can be delusional, but to me it's like a good delusional. Like I think it's all about consistency, like effort. It's the effort you put in something. It's like if I study for a test, okay, I'm studying it. Let's say if I'm not doing good, and I'm failing. Okay, at least I'm trying.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not studying at all and I'm failing, like, well, of course, like, you need to go get a tutor, go do something else.
Something got to change.
Something has to change. If you're not studying your craft, you really don't want to do this, and you're trying again and again, it's not meant for you to do it. But if you're trying and you're trying to like learn and trying to get better, I think that it is room for growth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think the question back to you would be, is that person really invested in the thing that they're trying or the thing that they're failing in really? Are they invested? If they're not invested, then why bother? But is that person invested?
I feel like if you fail, if you're trying something and you fail more than like 2 or 3 times, you have to, and you do it again, you're invested.
Mm-hmm.
Like no human can continue to go through so much disappointment and failure for something if you don't feel like it's worth it in the end.
Mm-hmm.
You for sure are invested, I think, for sure.
And
determined. You're not letting any number sway you, not like lack of validation sway you, lack of like, payment or anything. You're not letting all that sway you.
That's right.
You just have a goal in your head and you just keep trying different results. I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to, just creating things, and you keep coming across failure, quote unquote.
Yeah.
As a creative, you are someone who can pull things out of nothing.
Yeah.
So you are very skilled at editing, video editing. You can make certain looks. You can make certain things look like that, certain things look like that. Why can't you do that with your videos, like the way you promote them or the way you edit them to change the outcome of the audience views that you want, right? You're in the technical field. You're like, all right, I can do these different edits and anything like that. Change the way how you share things, change your outcome, change the process. It's like, don't keep doing the same things. You're like, man, I'm only getting 5 views on my Instagram. I mean, 5 views on my YouTube video, but you're just putting it on an Instagram story and that's it. Yeah, and then you're like, like change how that end is. You're a creative person. Yeah. You can switch things up any other way, any other time. Switch things up there.
Yeah. I think people are scared too. I think failure, as though you said failure is the biggest fear for you. Sometimes success is a big fear for people. So it's like, you have the lane of, okay, I'm trying in order to not fail, but I'm also trying to succeed in all of these things. I think you have both lanes. People are very scared of success, and that's why they might shortchange themselves, or they might not post as frequent as they might want to, because they're like, dang, I know this is really good, but I'm scared of my own success. I'm scared of my own. I know this is good, but I'm scared of other people's perceptions of what my content is. So that they might force themselves into failure because you're scared of your success.
You have to like self-sabotage a little bit.
Self-sabotage. For sure.
I feel like success brings expectations.
Yeah.
And like, speaking for myself, like, let's rewind. The first film we made, Contention, quote unquote, some people would say success, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Now there's expectation on me. Now there's like, all right, Griff, when the next one? Part 2 or next film, or you're all like, success definitely brings expectations now. Now you got to uphold it. You can obtain it all you want. Now you got to keep it.
Yeah.
And that brings so much pressure and so much like
unnecessary,
like a little bit more pressure and stress than failure does.
Yeah. And then so you go, well, then my route is this. So then I'm not going to work as hard as I'm going to in my craft. I'm not going to go back into the writing lab to write another script because there's so much pressure on me. Why not just not succeed? It sounds so like, why would you fail? But sometimes that happens when you are going like in this up and up, route. It's like, I don't want to uphold this huge success anymore. I kind of want to just kind of fade to the background and let somebody else get it. Let somebody else get, that recognition. But I don't know. It's a thing. How else could we talk about failure?
I think one of the biggest things as a creator when it comes to failure is that we don't understand that just as much as we can learn from other people's successes, we can learn from their failures too.
Yeah.
And so we should not be ashamed of talking to people about our failures.
Yeah.
things that we tried and it didn't go right or it didn't work out, you know, is we can't just keep looking at, oh yeah, I did this and this work. I did this and this work. No, bro, some things just don't work, bro. And I'm going to let you know as a fellow creator, because I care about you and I care about your journey. Don't try that, bro.
Yeah,
or at least don't try it the way I did.
I did it. That's what I was saying earlier about like showing people that's coming after you, hey, it's okay to show people like this didn't work out for me because look, you might want to do it this way because I did it this way.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
Do you have any failures that come to your head that you've done creatively that didn't work out?
So I wouldn't necessarily call them failures, but I think the point I brought up earlier about being scared of my own success, definitely when I, during the pandemic, when I did my podcast, and I did it just for me, and it was very therapeutic, and it was to take the, time off of this big moment. And the reception I got was really good from it. Like, people liked hearing what I had to say. They like, the podcast voice and everything like that. And as it went on, I was just like, no, I'm just gonna, I think we had came out of like the, the sensitive portion of the pandemic. And I was like, all right, that's it. Close shop. And I think because of the more reception I kept getting, like, oh, what's going to be on your next podcast? Or are you going to have guests? And I was like, whoa. Like,
that pressure.
Like, it was just too much. I was like, okay, all right. Like, and then people were like, oh, you inspired me to do one. And I want to do one. And it was like, that was a lot. And I was just like, I sometimes, I mentioned, in a previous podcast, living with your art first. I think I do that a lot. Like, sometimes you won't see my art for a long time because I like to really soak in my own art. I like to watch it. I like to be in it. And sometimes you won't ever really surface because I like it for me. And sometimes it's really scary to like showcase your art and put it on Front Street because of the big reception or the, not many receptions, but, that was scaring me. I was like, it was so many people like being like, oh, what's going to be on the next one? And are you going to have guests on eventually? And I was like, oh, it's done. So
it's like what you said, you never know who's watching.
Yeah.
Because I think you did it, like you said, you did it for you.
Yeah.
You felt the urge and need to create.
Yeah.
And you did it. And you didn't expect the fanfare and reception that it would get. You're like, whoa, hold up. Now I got to keep this up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing it for me. It's on my own timeline. Yeah. I'm talking about what I want to talk about. I'm going to have whoever I want on there. Right. This ain't really for y'all, bro.
Yeah, it was for me. But it actually helped out people. And so I wouldn't really call it a failure. In hindsight, I would be thankful for it because now here we are. Fast forward, I'm still doing the same thing now with a shared person. It's now on a bigger platform. It's a bigger mindset. It's not just my opinion. It's your opinion. So, I would just call it being scared of my success, not so much failure. So what about you?
I like that.
Thank you.
You just reminded me. This was 2019, 2018, 2019, something like that. I was either still in college or fresh out of college. It's so funny thinking about it now. I had tried something new. This is when I was like really posting heavily on a YouTube channel and I was doing skits or I was doing like, I would try different foods from around the country or whatever. But one thing I tried new was, I did a video game reaction. Oh. So funny. It doesn't exist. You will never find it on the YouTube
it's in
anymore.
Your privates.
Yeah. Or it might be just deleted forever. But I did it with all I had. So basically I was just screen recording I had a phone game, a mobile game that I was playing on my phone. Okay. It was like a Mortal Kombat-y kind of game that I was just recording the footage on my phone and recording like the cameras sitting up facing me, just like reacting to me playing the game. It was my first gameplay recording. And it's so funny because I posted it and I think people wasn't really a fan. It's cause I posted it and it was something completely new. Right. Never did that ever on my channel. Right. So everybody's like, what is this? Right. People close to me like, what was that? You know what I'm saying? And just the quality wise, it wasn't good. And then like, it was just really, I didn't know how to commentate. I didn't know what to say. I was just going with the idea, right? Yeah. Just doing it. And I just think in my head, I would call it a failure because I wasn't proud of it afterwards.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that was a waste, kind of. It was something that was always in my heart to do, right? Clearly. But it just didn't feel like, I don't know, I wasn't proud of it. It's so funny now. I'm thinking now because that was a failure in my head. And then now you fast forward these years later, I'm doing it better with better equipment. Now, because I went through that, now I know how to do certain things. I know how to do this. I know how to keep it entertaining. I know how to whatever, talk to the audience, whatever. So in my head, I seen that as a failure because I didn't like how it looked and I didn't get the reception I wanted.
Right.
But years later down the road, it definitely molded me and built me into a better reactor, streamer, video game content creator. I just thought about that.
That's important because it sounded like you were going down a new path. And sometimes think newness scares us and scares your audience too. You know, like you said, they were like, what is this? So I think definitely because streaming and Twitch, that can be a different world than YouTube. YouTube is like, okay, we put the video out and it's commented, people comment, whatever. Twitch and streaming and all that stuff, that's live. And so you have to be able to muster the strength to, let's say if you went to a different game and you have to be able to muster the strength that people are going to say this or going to say that. And you got to be like, hey, well, this is what we're rocking with today, Chad. Like, and you have to be cool with that. Newness has to be cool with you and then your crowd. You can't let your crowd dictate and control your content.
Yeah, you got to stand on it.
You got to stand on it with all 10 toes and be okay with that because that's just going to happen. So I think that's amazing. Because now look.
Right.
You know? And
piggyback on what you said, don't let the kind of the potential of the newness, like the potential of failure, steer you away from doing that newness.
Yeah.
Because if you continue to do the same thing, like I'm a YouTuber and all I do is this. Like, don't get me wrong, find your niche, right? Like, find your lane, be excellent at it, excel in it, build off of it. But at the end of the day, you cannot grow if you continue to stay stagnant and continue to do the same things.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, and don't let just the fear of like what people will think of me, what my audience will think of me, how the reception will be, stop you from doing those new things because you don't know. Yeah, I might be a tech reviewer. I might review iPhones.
Right.
That's all I do. I specifically review iPhones. Samsung got phones too. Androids, Google phones. You never know.
Yeah.
And if you just stick, I'm just the iPhone content creator, why can't you just be a tech creator, content creator?
You're selling yourself short.
Yeah.
And it shortened the opportunities. You don't know what that could come out of. Somebody on Samsung like, hey, we saw your videos, and you don't know.
You don't know. And sure, the reception, oh no, Apple all the way. You never know how people will react.
Right.
But if you market yourself as just a tech all around instead of just iPhone, you're just opening so many more opportunities, so many more content ideas. You know, it's just way more, just, you never know. So I personally would say, just don't let failure stop you from exploring.
Yeah.
Never know.
I wanted to say something else, but I didn't want to get off the topic. It's still on the topic of what the topic is, but something you just brought up. I think in this industry, we're like some people are like nicheless, but I think nowadays, a lot of people are so niche specific where it literally shortens opportunity, like where they might be scared to, like you said, dive into new things, but don't always be so niche specific. Like, it's okay to open and broaden yourself because it helps with the success or whatever that you're trying to excel in. The more you box yourself in, the more, you're
going to feel it. You're going to be boxed in.
So
that's not cool.
No.
I definitely pride myself on being like nicheless.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like I'm good at different things, but also I want to do different things.
That's right.
And I don't want to be stagnant. Like, I know people who probably don't know me in real life, maybe just subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They're like, bro, first it's a poem, now it's a video game. Like, I don't know what to expect from this guy. What's going on?
Yeah.
But I like to do a lot of different things.
And you never know which one is going to be like the leading thing to your success. Like, you never know. So you have to try it all, because if not, then you're biting into, I think what we call being scared of failure. You're feeding into that. If you don't ever try anything and you're just staying, you're like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I think in a way you're going to be feeding into failure. So
yeah.
To wrap it all up,
what's your like words of encouragement for people who are dealing with fear in their creation? Like people may have even fear of just they don't even start, like, or fear just to switch things up, or fear of failure when it comes to just like sharing things, putting things out. What's some words of encouragement you got for them?
I think that you shouldn't fear really anything as far as content or creating, because to me, the moment when you don't try something, you're limiting yourself to so many more outlets and so many more opportunities. So I say to you, fear are just stepping stones to your success. And don't be scared. It may be something that is scary, but if you never jump or try to get into the rope, you never know what that world might bring you. And sometimes, you know, you might compare yourself to so many people, but you look at those people, they tried, and that's what you have to focus on. Don't focus on what a person has, what likes they have, what their audience is. The reason they have that is because they tried. So instead of comparing, how about sometimes it's okay to take a page without trying to copy or emulate, but take a page out of someone's book and go, well, I'm just going to try. You know, go back into someone's repertoire and see what they've done and what they do. And just kind of, I feel like, kind of put that into your formula and just stepping into that light is okay. And guess what? You can delete it. You can never put it out, and it's okay.
It's not just like permanent.
It's not permanent. You can literally, if you don't like what you're seeing, if you don't like what you're doing, you can take it out. You can delete it. No one can ever see it. You just talked how you just did a video.
I explained it like, no, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Right?
So that is like the most simplest thing ever. Try it. And if you don't like it, you can delete it. It's okay. Nothing's going to happen. You're not a complete failure. So just try.
I agree so much with that. I think I'm about to piggyback off of them is like, off of you, sorry, is like, one piece of advice I give somebody who's like just scared of failure or just not doing things because they're like, oh, I'm gonna fail or I'm not gonna be good at it.
Mm-hmm.
So people feel I'm not gonna be good at it.
Yeah.
Like you said, the only thing you can control is your effort.
Yeah.
Everything else is out your control.
Yep.
The outcome, the reaction, the views, the engagement, all that. That is an unknown variable you cannot control, out of our hands.
Nope.
One thing you can control is your effort.
Yep.
So if you know that is the only thing that you have full control over, why not have a little bit of peace in that? Like, okay, I failed, but I gave it 140%.
Yep.
And that's a win.
That's a win.
Like,
I used to always say that, like, when dealing with school and stuff,
yeah.
Like, I used to always think, like, failure used to be my biggest fear, but I'm like, I gave it my all. I'm okay. Like, that's putting so much pressure on you to be like, oh my God, I failed. At least you tried. You could walk away and go, look, you can wipe your hands and go, I tried.
Definitely. That's the only thing you can control is your effort.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, like, everything else, how people see you or how, like, now they're unsubscribing later for them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you tried something new. You gave it your complete all.
Yep.
Live with the results because you can't control that. You can't control none of that. So if you're like struggling with the fear of failure, stopping you from starting a podcast, stopping you from starting a YouTube channel, stopping you from painting, stopping you from making music, because you're feeling like, oh man, like, I don't know, I might not be good at it.
Yeah.
You don't know until you know, until you do it and give it 110%, like you give everything else. So that's what I would say.
Can I add something?
Yeah,
else?
go ahead.
And it's something I literally said moments ago. Do it for you. Like when I was doing my podcast and I did it for me, I wasn't thinking about this and that and this. I just literally did it. Like whatever the software I did it on, I just pressed record and I just didn't think about I promise that sounds so cliche, but don't think about anyone, but whatever the topics you're doing, whatever the content that you're doing, and just do it surrounding that. don't think about anyone but yourself. Like, hear yourself, see yourself. Don't think about the world and the reception that you're going to get or you're not going to get. Yeah, so we're going to wrap that up. That was a really good main topic.
That was a great one. That was a good one. It's definitely something I've dealt with, so I can really speak to, like, you know, failure or fear of failure has definitely stopped me from trying a lot of things. But I'm tired of failure robbing me of things.
That part.
It's like, bro, like, why are you letting that rob you from experiences and things you could learn and just like, bro, like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. And a lot of people, we're our own biggest critic and we're the biggest thing in our own way.
Yeah, we are.
For sure. Hold up. You just reminded me. I think something's on my Twitter banner and I think it has something to do with this.
Let's see.
Yeah, on my banner on my Twitter, it says a hard pill to swallow. The only thing holding you back is your inability to do the work that you know you need to do without witness or immediate reward for a long enough period of time. It's the only thing stopping you.
Wow. Can you read that again?
Got you. A hard pill to swallow. The only thing that is holding you back is your inability to do the work that you know you need to do without witness or immediate award for a long enough period of time.
Wow. There you go. That takes up both of what we said.
Basically.
Come on.
Like, please don't let failure or the fear of failure stop you from doing what you need to do. Because you know, it's in you. We have these thoughts, these ideas that we want to create. And imagine how many things we wouldn't have in this life if people let that fear of failure stop them from making it. We wouldn't have no stop signs. We wouldn't have no glasses, maybe. Like, we wouldn't have this camera, these microphones, and that, like, a table. Like, what was this carpenter is like, man, like, 4 legs? We gonna make this stand on 4 legs, man. I might not be good at that.
You're right. You're so right.
You don't know what's inside you that's like dormant and like still there, like that you just holding back because I might not be good at it. I ain't gonna try. I'm not that good of a singer, so I'm not gonna make music. So like, you don't know. So just do it. It's obviously in you. It's that idea is in you. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's good. Listen, we could talk on days on ends about this topic, as you can see, because we're so passionate about it.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and delve into what we like to call our final 5.
Big final 5.
Big final 5. So just a reminder for everybody out there, if you're new, the final 5 is, you know, at the end of our podcast, we, you know, say 5 words or a phrase or a sentence that, you know, our viewers or audience could take away with. And then we kind of explain what that means, you know, to us. You want to take it away or should I?
I got you.
Okay.
My final 5 definitely sticks with this episode. Is on cue. Is failure is just a mindset. Failure is just a mindset. At the end of the day.
Yes, it is.
Yes, you may physically feel like if it didn't get this expected outcome, this is a failure. Who made that expected outcome?
Talk about it.
You did.
Yeah.
So if you change your expected outcome to like, all right, I just want to try to go to the gym 3 times this week.
Right.
Right. And you did too. Right. In your head, you might, oh man, that was a failure or whatever like that. But look at it like, I went to the gym this week.
Yeah.
No matter the times, no matter like how long you was there, you went to the gym this week.
That's right.
So like, failure is just a mindset. If you change your mindset about how you see failure, I guarantee you, watch how many things change for you in your life. So many things you get to do, create, and, you know, happen because of that. My final 5 is failure is just a mindset. And I'm going to just leave you with that.
I absolutely love that. That touched
I'm trying to be on your level with the final 5.
Oh, please.
Little final 5. I'm trying to be on your level. What you got for me?
Thank you. So my final 5 today is you dictate your own success.
Those go hand in hand.
Yeah, they go straight hand in hand. And to me, I feel like we do so much, like whatever it is, creating the content that we want, you know, that we want for ourselves, but we shortchange ourselves because we're thinking about what other people want. Like, I might want to start a gaming channel because that's what I want to do for me, but I'm not I'm not posting as much as I should. I'm not really doing what I should because I'm thinking about other people and what they're thinking for me. Mm-hmm. They're trying to make my plans and dictate what they see fit, but I have to always come back to the center that I have to do what I have to do and dictate for my own success. And success doesn't always look like, views or subscribers. That can look like whatever I want it to look like. So, like, let's say you trying to give me tips like, hey, if you want 50,000 subscribers, that's how you view your success.
Right.
You can't put that or dictate that onto me because I might not view that as for me with mm-hmm. mine. So I think always, opinions are welcomed, but, mm-hmm. Like the old saying goes, if you know. So you don't always have to take in people's opinions or critiques. You just do what you need to do for you and what you see fit and how you plan it. Maybe you plan to only do something for a certain period of time, but always have in your mind, in your mindset, this is what I want to do, and I'm not letting anyone change it.
Yep.
So
this is my finish line. This is what success means to me.
That's right. So
yep. Yeah. You dictate your success. Failure is just a mindset.
What a pair.
What a pair, y'all. What a pair. Well, that's been the Why Not Us podcast. Yes. I hope y'all had such a great time listening to us as we had such a great time just talking about this topic.
Yes.
You can tell this is something that we've been we've experienced.
Yes.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
And we can definitely talk to this subject as much as we can. Mm-hmm. So please make sure that you stay tuned to the different podcast episodes that may be dropping soon. Follow us on our own social media handles that will be displayed, and mm-hmm. also at the Why Not Us Pod on Instagram, where you'll see a lot of the clips of our episodes. We'll post our icon in the eye, giving mm-hmm. them their shout outs on social media.
That's right.
Just letting everybody just get hip to the show. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell the other friend.
That's
Come
right.
check us out over here at the Why Not Us Podcast, at the end of the day.
And make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let us know, if you have topics for us to cover. Just, let us know. We're very open and receptive. So we thank everybody for rocking and staying and sticking this along throughout the podcast.
Yeah.
And until next time.
We'll see you.
Bye.